Hey guys, with the launch of New World just around the corner, I want to take this opportunity to introduce newer players to the trading post, show you how it works, and maybe show you some techniques on how you can use it to make money. If you've ever played other MMOs that have a player-driven economy such as RuneScape or Albion Online, then you may already know about ways that you can manipulate the market to make profits. So there's actually only two ways that you can sell goods in New World for gold. The first one is player-to-player trading, and the second one is by listing things on the trading post. Now because there's no way to sell goods to vendors or NPCs, that means that the price of goods is entirely dependent and decided by the player base. My first set of advice would be to avoid player-to-player trading unless you really understand the value of items and just kind of stick to using the trading post. So without further ado, let's take a look at how the trading post works in New World. So starting in the top left corner, you can see that we have a buy and sell tab, as well as a tab labelled My Orders. So starting with the buy tab, you can see on the left hand side that there are categories that you can use to filter down your search. Alternatively, there is a search bar in case you'd like a more specific search. You can use that to type in the name of an item. It's worth noting that each trading post is specific to the settlement that you are in. There is no universal market. Each town has its own economy, and some will thrive better in certain resources than others. In the top right corner, however, you can click the drop down menu to view the trading posts of other settlements without having to travel to them. This is really great for planning and scouting out potential deals without having to travel all the way to the settlement. Here's an example of how researching marketplaces can really save you a lot of gold. In this specific scenario, I saved around 600 gold. So here I am in Weaver's Fen looking for a new musket around my level with pure dexterity as the main stat. The first thing I want to go and do is check the box at the top that says can equip, and then filter my search by gear score to ensure that I'm buying the highest gear score weapon I can. But you can see that the prices are really high, and the highest gear score musket on the market is priced at 1000 gold. And the stats on it don't look too great, so I go ahead and expand my search to Everfall, which oftentimes, due to its location and resources, has become the main crafting hub for players. I was able to find a higher gear score musket with the stats that I wanted for around 400 gold. The only thing I had to go and do was fast travel to Everfall before somebody else buys it. There are two lessons that can be learnt from this. As a merchant, you should research areas with less developed markets to target desperate and less patient players who aren't really willing to travel to other settlements to buy goods, because there are players out there and they will pay the price. But as a consumer, you should research other markets when you're buying large amounts or expensive goods that you plan to get a lot of use out of. I'm not saying travel across free settlements to save a few pennies on potions, but as you've seen, it can sometimes be worth it when you're investing in gear. I want to talk briefly about the concept of flipping. So flipping in the most basic form is buying a product at the cheapest possible price and then relisting it for a profit. This has always been a great way to passively make money by putting your gold to work while you do other activities, instead of having it just sit in your inventory gathering dust. However, there are challenges to this. The first challenge you're going to face is, how do I find out what items to flip? And that's where you need to do a little research, because some items will flip better than others, and this is going to be a forever changing problem that you're going to have to face. You can start by asking yourself, who are you targeting? As people level up, their needs are going to change. Players will eventually move to higher level regions with settlements where markets haven't yet been established yet, meaning that there's very little competition for what you want to sell. I was able to buy star metal tools for around 600 gold from a town that could craft them, and then relist them in a town that couldn't craft them for around 1100 gold. The tools I listed were the only star metal tools on the market in this region, therefore I was free to price them how I wanted, and people bought them. Players' focus will shift to wanting higher level gear and resources, so it's great to plan ahead and take advantage of these situations. Let me give you another example. Townboard quests, unless changed, are a very desirable way for people to level up, and they often require players to turn in specific resources. Fish fillets, iron bars, potions, leather hide, linen, if I was to just name a few. A lot of these resources are going to be used in crafting as well. For me personally, I'll be focusing on Arcana, and more specifically potions. I'll be targeting the PvPers and the townboard users. My reasoning for this is because people will be buying potions to use, but they'll also be buying potions to turn in on the townboard. Potions are also an essential consumable in PvP, wars, expeditions, questing and exploration, so there's always going to be a need for them. Every company out there is going to need multiple stonecutters to craft expedition tuning orbs and to cut gems. You're probably wondering, why is this relevant to me doing Arcana? Well, one of the main ingredients to crafting tuning orbs are cores, which often require Arcana ingredients such as motes, wisps, essences, and quintessence. Arcana ingredients are also needed as well to cut gems to put into gear, which are very desirable for players. Arcana also allows me to target magic users by being able to craft fire staffs, life staffs, and ice gauntlets. I'm even looking far enough into the future that if we end up getting the void gauntlet like data miners have speculated, along with Amazon's own leaks of the concept art of the weapon, then my bet is that since it's going to be a magic weapon, Arcana is probably going to be the skill that will be used to craft it, so by then I might be able to make some high level void gauntlets to sell for a profit. But there is always the chance that the void gauntlet doesn't make it into the game. Now I use Arcana as an example because that's the route I'm going to take. All you need to do is apply this mindset to whatever resource or skill you have interest in. Once you've done that, we can talk about how you go about purchasing these items in order to flip them. Let's use iron ingots as an example. When people go to buy something on the trading post, it's usually because they want the item there and then. So most of the time, they're going to pay whatever price is given to them, as long as it means that they can get that item. You can, however, use buy orders. Let's say we place a buy order for 10 ingots at 5 gold each. We will pay the 50 gold, and if anybody ever goes to sell iron ingots and they see our buy order, they have the option to sell to us for 5 gold each. Some people are really impatient and just want to perform a quick sale, so buy orders are really great for buying a lot of resources very cheap without having to stand around the trading post all day waiting for them to appear on the market. Now there's two things you can do once you've obtained resources this way. If you're a crafter, you can craft something valuable and then go on to sell it, but obviously if you're a flipper, you would then relist this at a higher price and try and make a profit on it. So in order to relist our iron ingots, we would need to place a sell order, and a sell order is basically just the opposite of a buy order. You're basically saying, hey, I have 10 iron ingots and I'm placing them up for the price of 15 gold, and if anybody wants them, they can just go ahead and click buy and the transaction will happen on its own. So once you click sell order, you will be able to see the list of all the current offers on the market for iron ingots, as well as the price and the quantity that these people are selling theirs at. Buy orders are usually used by people to try and secure goods for a price way under their value, and sell orders are usually a more accurate reflection of what an item is really valued at. There are exceptions obviously where one item may be listed insanely high on the market, however if you see multiple sell orders all asking for roughly the same price, you should probably aim to sell somewhere within that range. It might sound complicated having to do math trying to calculate your profit margins. All you need to do is just write down how much you're spending on goods, how much you want to sell them for, and then just find out how much the market fee is, which it'll tell you when you list it, and then just subtract that number, and then you'll know how much you're making on the transaction. I can't express enough how important it is understanding the market listing fee, because it differs between towns, it differs between companies, and there's territory standings that can reduce the market listing fee. The game also kinda shafts you because when you go to list something, it will automatically try and list it for 14 days, and 14 days is the highest listing fee you can pay. So if you go to list something that you know damn well is going to sell straight away, you can click the drop down menu on 14 days and you can set it to 1 day and you'll pay a way smaller listing fee. But like I said, the market fee is entirely up to the company running the town, how many points you've put into reducing the market fee through territory standing, and how long you plan to list the item for. So take that into account when you're choosing a town to list your item in. I want to briefly talk about value-added products, which essentially is the added value you as a crafter add to products versus just selling the materials. More specifically, I want to talk about how I think tools, bags, and jewelry are the three most important that I think you should focus on crafting early on. The reason why I think this is a better moneymaker early on than making armor is because a lot of people are going to use their gear that they get through drops and through quests, and most people will even be using their faction gear for the most part. The exception to this is obviously when you reach max level and you want that endgame armor, then of course specifically craft gear to your needs. But early on, as players level up, they're going to unlock bag slots, they're going to unlock jewelry slots, and they're going to want to upgrade their tools. The reason why this type of gear differs from other pieces of armor is because other than the odd specific quest, the only way to get these items is by crafting them or buying them from the marketplace, and the cost of production is often really high, therefore the price for these is really high. Due to this, crafters want to ensure that they're using A's off, so that when they are crafting these items, they get really good perks, which can be used to inflate the price even higher. If consumers are going to spend a lot on tools and bags, they're going to make sure that they buy one that has good perks. This just about scratches the surface of what is possible with the trading post and crafting, but I hope it's enough to give you a bit of an advantage when it comes to making money. If this video did help, feel free to give it a thumbs up and share it with your company members. Let me know in the comments what your plans are for launch, and feel free to subscribe for more New World videos like this. Hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when they go live. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.